My son is a sophomore here now. Last year he was a freshman. He was really struggling in his classes, and he came to me and he said, Mom, I just had to take this test. I just finished up school last year. I'm here now at college, and I'm really struggling. And he said, I go to class. They tell me read the chapter. After you're done reading this chapter, and this chapter, we're going to take a test. And he said, and I go to class, I take notes, I do all the things I need to do, and I come to class, and I take the test, and I do horrible.
Right.
And he said, I'm doing everything they've asked me to do. And he said, and the problem that I run into is I think all the time that I've been in the world of academics is that they've always taught us to the test.
Right.
They've taught us exactly what we needed to know to take the test. And I'm talking assessments and everything else. Nobody's ever taught me how to learn. He said, I don't know how to decipher content. I don't know how to know what is an important topic, what is a supporting topic, what is an example to reinforce that topic. I don't know how to make all that content come together. I tell that story at the beginning of every semester. And this is a generation that lacks the ability to have either verbal or nonverbal skills. And for the first time, I have students nodding their head. They all feel that same frustration. They all feel the same frustration of not knowing how to take content and how to see that content and be able to decipher that content. So this material came to me in May, just after that conversation, and I thought to myself, this is a software component that will now allow students to learn how to learn. And it was just hit home so well, just perfect timing. So what it does is it literally gives them a preview, so they now can find a way to outline that chapter, see how things are all spaced out, be able to look at, each different segment and how things interrelate. Because many times they go through, and like you said, I read chapter 1 all the way through page 20, the page 1 through 26, and I feel like I have to memorize everything from page 1 to 26, and I don't know how I'm supposed to put things together. They never taught them how to outline.
No.
Then it goes to this reading segment, and when they go to the reading segment, it actually goes through all of this and begins the process of showing them, here are some important elements. Again, based on, remember when I showed you in Learn Smart how I told them specifically what segments I wanted to ensure that they knew as a foundation of my course?
Mm-hmm.
And that I'd gone to those different places and said, hey, what do I need to make sure my students know so that they're prepared for your course? It now is highlighting those areas to ensure that those students are aware of those different segments. So we've got this highlighting that they need to ensure that they know. As students go through these different pages and stuff, as they continue to go through the next segment, which will be the practice segment, that's where they'll answer those questions that you probably saw with the Learn Smart.
Mm-hmm.
This highlighting will start to be more targeted towards the areas that they need to focus on because they will have retained the material that I want them to make sure that they know.
That's what I think is so cool. It learns what they know and highlights it so they don't have to worry about it anymore. And then
Oh, absolutely. And so now my students are being able to gain the ability to learn. Because before, they didn't even know, okay, when I read through this content, is this important or is this important? I mean, I don't want them to look at that content and think that they shouldn't read that, but as it says, this text is dim because right now it is less relevant for you to study. You can always reveal the text. And so, know that this is information that is super important and know that this is information that you need to go back and use as maybe an example to help reinforce the content that you have.
Right.
Because they are a generation that is just, give me what I need for the moment. And so we're going to hit the high points. We're going to give you an opportunity to see what's what. Then they go to the practice segment, and then that practice segment allows them an opportunity to answer those Learn Smart questions. But then, because they have SmartBook, if by chance they're struggling with that question, they can click on that Read About This component, and then it takes them right to where they need to look at for being able to, answer that question within the textbook itself. And so I gave my students all a 3-week free trial. I told them don't even buy the textbook at the beginning of the semester. I sent them an email out about 2 weeks before semester started, 3 weeks before semester started. Come to class. We're going to do the 3-week free trial because I wanted everybody to try this first.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried it, and I would say about 75% of my students went ahead and did the ebook. because they wanted to be able to utilize this software. They wanted to be able to utilize this component, and they understood the story that I spoke about with my son. Because he's right there with them. I mean, it's 100% hits home.